Hi, my name is Hannah White, and today we're going to be going over learning theories. There are three theories that we're going to cover: constructivism, behaviorism, and cognitivism. As quoted in the book Constructivism in Education, constructivism implies that knowledge is always knowledge that a person constructs. It was originally inspired by Piaget, Vygotsky, and Brunner around 1964. This learning theory accounts for what students already know and focuses on building on that knowledge. The teacher acts as a builder that helps the students construct this knowledge. This applies to all areas of teaching, such as content and social emotional learning. Constructivism has impacted the way that teachers think about the way that students learn. So teachers are more of a guide to lead the students into learning moments based on their questions and interest. Classrooms were also affected. Students should be able to have access to materials and resources that facilitate this learning on their own without having to request it from the teacher, as well as taking students outside and other locations to help in building these experiences. Methods of constructivism teaching include reciprocal teaching, which is where students learn from each other and teach each other. Inquiry-based learning has students' questions driving the instruction that the teacher makes. Problem-based learning is solving real-world problems and making that drive instruction, as well as cooperative learning where small groups of students rely on each other for instruction. There are a few ways that constructivism can be used with technology. Here are some of the ones that I outlined in this PowerPoint. Online discussions. A great way to do this would be the use of Padlet. They can also research topics that they want to explore that they've had questions about. Online videos for the same reason, and virtual field trips to help the teacher facilitate moments of learning. The next learning theory that we're going to look at is behaviorism. Behaviorism describes the way that children learn through behavior in their environment. Altering the environment can change the way that students behave and produce the desired behavior. This was originally created by Thorndike, Skinner, Pavlov, Watson, and Baidu around 1910. The use of this theory aids in motivating student learning. As you can see from the picture, a lot of times there's a stimuli, a response, and a consequence. The consequence can also be interchanged with a reward for a desired behavior. Behaviorism has had a few impacts on education. One main way that it has impacted education is the way that teachers respond to negative and positive behaviors. Additionally, observations of those behaviors and documenting the frequency and stimuli involved in those behaviors. Positive rewards and intrinsic and extrinsic rewards for those desired behaviors. The key to behaviorism is repeating the reward for the behavior as well as negative consequences for undesired behaviors. A few examples of behaviorism include direct instruction. This is where the teacher is the main facilitator of learning. Positive reinforcement, which includes intrinsic and extrinsic rewards, as well as drill and practice, which is repeating activities to get the desired behavior or learning response. Repetition is key to behaviorism. Using behaviorism with technology can be done in a few ways. One way is Class Dojo. This offers behavior points and direct communication with families about students' progress. Freckle Math also includes routine and positive reinforcement by offering rewards for completing activities. Nearpod's also a great way to show direct learning with assessments included. Cognitivism is the last learning theory that we're going to observe today. This is the study of how human mind interacts with its environment. This involves perception, executive process, working memory, encoding, and long-term memory. This stemmed from behaviorism and aimed to fill in its gaps. This includes all brain processes in the learning and teaching of students. Prior knowledge and new knowledge are imperative for cognitivism. Cognitivism has also had some impacts on education. One way that it has done this is the way that teachers think about information and how they are providing that information to their students. This involves whole brain learning and using various parts of the brain and how they learn new information. It has reduced the load placed on students' working memory and more so places that load on long-term memory. The ultimate goal in teaching is to assure that your students are not only processing information, but keeping that information for later learning. This is where skills are taught, maintained, and built upon. A few examples of cognitive learning include information processing. This is how the environment affects the way that the students are thinking. Cognitive load theory also shows that there is a limit on the amount of information that a person can receive based on their own personal learning limits. Self-regulated learning is also a way that students self-direct their learning based on their own personal limits. Cognitivism can be used with technology in a few ways. One way is the use of Quizlet. This is flashcards, games, and quizzes. This is going to help facilitate that long-term memory. Kahoot is another learning game that creates memorable moments of learning through its fun activities. Lexia is another one where students build a skill and continue to build upon that skill throughout their time of use. The overarching idea is to create memorable experiences that facilitate long-term memory with that skill rather than just the working memory for that time. My personal reflection on all of these theories. Many of these learning theories can still be seen today in teaching. Their influence on education has been broad and still stands. We still use these today. It may not be listed as that certain theory, but their ideas and concepts can still be seen. Constructivism has influenced how teachers view their role in the classroom, in aiding students in building their knowledge and accounting for their interest. Behaviorism has greatly impacted how teachers view behaviors and deal with those behaviors in the classroom, especially through intrinsic and extrinsic rewards. Additionally, cognitivism has teachers think about the whole brain in their process of planning and executing of lessons. All these theories have allowed for improvements in the way that teachers think and plan their daily lessons to assure that their students are building that long-term memory for later grades. Here you'll see all the resources used in this PowerPoint. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen, and I hope you can apply some of these into your own teaching. Bye.